Hey guys, well, another 6 months have passed, and I've noticed that I've got a whole bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays to show you, so here you go. I don't have a real schedule when it comes to uploading these, but it's just whenever I feel like. It's been a long time and I have a lot of stuff, so there you go. Starting off with the DVDs, there's only 3 actually, but I'm going to be talking about them all at once. I got the Spider-Man trilogy. I mentioned in my first ever DVD and Blu-ray video that I had the first 2 of these, and that I was fine with these movies, but I think I mentioned in a couple of other videos that I wasn't a huge fan of them, and I actually ended up getting rid of those DVDs because they had all gotten all sticky due to problems with all the cases and such. Yeah. But I ended up, between when I made that video and now, reading the novelization for this movie, and it made me appreciate the story a lot more than I had in a long time, so I intend to collect the novelizations for the other 2 movies, as I think I'll appreciate it better in that form rather than as a movie form. But if I'm thinking that, why do I have the DVDs? Well, I was actually in Target about a month ago, and I saw that they were selling these movies for $5 a piece, and I go, oh, well, it doesn't get really any cheaper than that unless they're at a flea market. I'll grab them. But unfortunately, when it comes to the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man movies, there isn't really any one big definitive edition that has all the extras for each movie, because even though this does have a ton of extras, as the camera might be able to tell, there's actually a free disc edition of this, and it could be that 1 or 2 of the Blu-ray editions has different features or something, I can't remember. And even though this has a ton of extras, there's still Spider-Man 2.1, which contains a different cut of the movie and some other stuff, and it could be that the Blu-ray has additional features on this also. Now, I actually discovered that this, and at least the Blu-ray that was first released, is actually the same. I don't know about any of the Blu-rays that follow it, such as the one with those alternate covers and such, but there's still a ton of extras across these releases, so since mainly I got them for the extras, $5 a piece, yeah, and if I decide that I don't really want to keep these, there's plenty of other people out there in my family that I bet would like these, so there you go. I'm covered. Moving on to the Blu-rays. The first one I got, completing my trilogy, was The Dark Knight Rises, now in its steelbook packaging. Not bad, huh? This is actually my favorite of all the steelbooks. I just love this steelbook. I had the regular Blu-ray edition for this, but I really had wanted to get the steel book because I had the steelbooks for the other 2, and now I have my trilogy complete. I'm not going to get the big Ultimate Edition that has the bonus disc because it really only has 2 different featurettes, and I'm pretty sure somebody is going to release these online somehow, so it's just not worth it, really. Unless somebody sells the bonus disc separate and I just happen to nab it, because this actually has a DVD copy inside it, so I could theoretically switch it. Now, this is an item that Zara Nizrak talked me into buying, along with a couple of other things in my DVD and Blu-ray collection. I got the Ben-Hur set. I actually saw that movie a long time ago, back when I was, I think, 6th, 7th grade, and I enjoyed it, but I couldn't really appreciate it. When I got that, I was amazed at how much I enjoyed it, even though I was right in that it was a fairly slow-paced movie, but a lot of it really was necessary, and is an example of how badly the Romans did treat some people, even though I'll admit that is a pretty lighthearted movie, let me tell you. I was real impressed by just how, even though you don't really feel sympathy for the bad guys, you actually come pretty close, I think. Yeah. Okay. Next up is the first season of Glee. My aunt and uncle are actually big fans of this show, and I've been hearing a lot about it. Checked out the pilot on iTunes, and I liked it, so I go, what the heck, let's pick up the season, and I'm about 3/4 done with it, and I've been enjoying it, but after, like, episode 13, the sectionals episode, the season hasn't been, like, as fun, so my advice is to you people out there, take it in doses. Try not to binge watch an amazing amount of episodes, unless, of course, future seasons change my mind. When I finish watching this, I'll post a review of it, trust me. I got the window open, so there's a big train going by in a bit. I live pretty close to a railroad track. Sheesh, train. Next up is X-Men First Class, so now I have, the 4 X-Men movies that feature Charles Xavier to some degree, so all I'm missing is the solo Wolverine movies, but I'm not too keen on getting those. I'll upload my thoughts on all the X-Men movies at some point. I actually have the video made, but haven't uploaded it yet. Now, this next one was a bit of a surprise for me. I actually saw this movie a long time ago, back when it first came out on DVD, although I didn't know that fact. And I enjoyed it, but I couldn't really appreciate the entire plot and such. Then I saw this at Barnes & Noble a few weeks back and decided, what the heck, it's been a long time since I saw this movie, let's pick it up. I viewed it again, and I was amazed at how I still liked it, actually. What am I talking about? Oh, and this suspense. The Island, with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I was pretty astonished at just how much I enjoyed this movie, because although there really isn't too much to the characters and the story, it nonetheless was engaging. It was a pretty well-developed universe, and, I'm just amazed at the product that they turned out. And I think, even though this is kind of disputable, this is the one movie that was directed by Michael Bay that I think you'll forget was directed by Michael Bay. You remember that The Rock was directed by Michael Bay, but many people will say that it's his only good movie, whatever. Form your own thoughts on those movies. I know the reputations, or almost all of them. Next one I picked up was MI4. Not much I can really say about this, except I had looked forward to this movie when it came out, and I really enjoyed it, and this is actually quite possibly my favorite out of all the Mission Impossible movies. It's been a long time since I've seen 1 and 3. I don't really like 2, and come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen the movie all the way through. Might have to change that. Next one is Wanted. Saw this in the cheap Blu-ray bin at Best Buy, as you might be able to tell, and just picked it up because I enjoyed this movie when I previously saw it. It isn't exactly the best movie when it comes to re-watches, but it was a fun time, and eventually I definitely will watch it again, so why not? Now, this is a movie that I heard a lot of good things about, but unfortunately I ended up being spoiled the ending of the movie, so I couldn't appreciate it as well as other people do, but nonetheless, when I watched it, I found myself really enjoying it. Was impressed at, despite the slow pace and simplicity of it, just how much every scene was needed in the movie, and I could tell just how jerking it was to audience people, even though it barely recouped its budget while I was in theater. Since you guys know I already have Blade Runner, I think that really only leaves one big movie that this could be. Shawshank. Don't need to say anything more, do I? Getting close to being done, there's only a few left. I picked up Ender's Game, the movie. I've already made the review for this movie, so I'm not going to mention it again, but I'm pretty disappointed at the lack of extras on here, because all we've got is an audio commentary. The making of the movie doesn't say how long that is. Inside the Mind Game, I don't know what that means, and deleted or extended scenes with optional commentary. It doesn't seem like, though, that's going to be that great of an extras board, and given how short this movie is compared to the book, yeah. Goes to show, even though I think this was a nice movie, the possibility of sequels, I don't think it's happening. I'll combine these two because it's obvious that I had these at this point, if you watch my vids in order. Lost Girl Season 3 and Supernatural Season 5. On a side note about a Lost Girl, I'm actually gonna have to re-buy the second season because it didn't come with a slip cover, whereas Seasons 1 and 3 have. I don't have Season 4 yet because that season sucked. And finally, I picked up the movie Love Actually. I saw this last Christmas for the first time ever. Was amazed at how much I liked this movie. There's a lot in it, but just wow, talk about being well done. Now, It's a Wonderful Life has some competition, actually. Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the ultimate romantic comedy, but there's not too many movies out there that I really feel like are romantic comedies and such, because I'm just, well, it's just kind of hard to describe. Just a lot of the romantic comedies I see either lean more towards the romance or the comedy aspect, and the comedy aspect usually just has romance stuff integrated in it, and I feel like that's more of the choice here, even though I think it's more of a romance movie than a comedy movie, because I did laugh at some situations, but I think you get it. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this next DVD update of mine, and yeah, see you next time.